Ankita Robin and welcome to SG Global News. From President-elect Donald J. Trump's first post-election interview to the heartbreaking tale of women's rights eroding under Taliban rule in Afghanistan, we have many stories to cover. US President-elect Donald J. Trump sat down with NBC News for his first interview following his major election win. The president-elect reiterated the promises he made during his campaign and stated that he plans to tackle immigration and abortion issues within the first 100 days of his upcoming term. In his first sit-down interview with a major media outlet since the election, President-elect Donald Trump said that he won't back down from the promises he had made during the election campaign, and his first priority within first 100 days is to focus on immigration and to toughen abortion law. During the interview, Trump pledged that the first thing he would do is to address the border issue and will implement measures to restrict people from trying to cross the border. When asked about deporting everyone who has been living in the country illegally for years, he reiterated his campaign promise of conducting the largest deportation operation in American history. He said that, quote, "It's a very tough thing to do, but you have to have rules, regulations, laws. They came in illegally," end quote. He noted that giving amnesty to illegal immigrants is unfair to people waiting to come into the country legally. Trump also said that he wouldn't split up families with mixed immigration status, aligning with Catholic Church's position in this particular matter. Trump also pledged to end birthright citizenship for children of immigrants. When asked about abortion rights, Trump said that abortion is a state issue and will not dictate what policy the state must take. The Taliban's supreme leader Hibatullah Akhundzada has announced that women will no longer be allowed to pursue medical education. This new order is the latest in a series of directives aimed at severely restricting the rights of women in Afghanistan. The Taliban has reportedly closed one of the last remaining loopholes in its ban on education for older girls and women by forbidding them from attending medical school. According to Human Rights Watch, a non-governmental organization advocating for human rights in over 100 countries, this measure will likely lead to unnecessary pain, illness, and even death. The Taliban has already banned male medical professionals from treating women in several provinces, and a lack of female healthcare workers will severely affect women's access to medical care. The order, issued by the Taliban supreme leader Hibatullah Akhundzada, was announced during a meeting of the Ministry of Public Health on December 2nd. Since the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan on August 15, 2021, following the abrupt withdrawal of US forces, the group has systematically imposed severe restrictions on women's rights, including limitations on their freedom of movement, speech, employment, and protection from violence. This latest order represents another blow to the already diminishing rights of women in Taliban-ruled Afghanistan. Women's rights defenders who have spoken out against the regime have faced grave repercussions, including physical assault, arbitrary detention, sexual violence, torture, and enforced disappearances. The International Criminal Court has announced the possibility of applying for arrest warrants in connection with the situation in Afghanistan, which could be a first step toward holding the militant group accountable. The Patriarch of Antioch and head of the Syriac Orthodox Church, Ignatius Ephraim II, has cut short his visit to Kerala, India, to return to Damascus following the fall of the Assad regime. The Patriarch has requested prayers from the faithful for the situation in Syria to improve. Patriarch of Antioch and the head of the Syriac Orthodox Church, Ignatius Ephraim II, during the apostolic visit to Kerala, urged Indian Christians to pray for Syria, which is currently facing a state of unrest after the toppling of the Assad government. Addressing the faithful on the 40th Memorial Day of Catholicos Basilius Thomas II, the Patriarch said he had to abandon his plans to visit and spend a few days next to the tomb of More Ignatius Elias III, the former Patriarch, and return to Damascus after learning about the recent events in Syria. He then told the gathering about the predicament faced by the Christians in Syria and Lebanon and urged the faithful to pray so that the situation could become better. At the commemoration meeting, the Patriarch remembered the recently deceased Mafrian of India and headed the Malankara Syriac Orthodox Church, More Thomas Basilius, as a great prelate who tirelessly worked day and night to rescue the Jacobite Syrian churches from crises. He also expressed his gratitude to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for allowing him to spend some time with the Indian faithful and also for supporting people and followers of all religions to live peacefully and freely. Patriarch Ephraim headed back to Damascus on Tuesday morning after cutting short his apostolic visit by 2 weeks. A revered Monsignor who saved the lives of thousands of unborn babies has passed away at the age of 90. Monsignor Philip J. Rayleigh, the founder of Helpers of God's Precious Infants, was a key figure in the pro-life movement in the United States, credited with saving countless lives through his efforts. Monsignor Philip J. Rayleigh, who touched tens of thousands of lives through his pro-life ministry worldwide, passed away on November 30th, 2024. He was 90 years old. Monsignor Rayleigh's prayerful work helped change the hearts of several abortionists and led to the closing of many abortion clinics. He was an unsung pro-life hero who founded the Helpers of God's Precious Infants in 1989, a pro-life apostolate with a non-confrontational approach that emphasizes the importance of maintaining a loving and prayerful presence outside of abortion mills. At present, there are Helpers chapters in over 40 states in the US and on 5 continents. Monsignor Rayleigh was ordained to the priesthood for the Diocese of Brooklyn, New York on May 28, 1960. Since then, he has been actively involved in many apostolic programs and charities including Bread for the World, the NAME Ministry for Widows and Widowers, Catholic Relief Services, and Natural Family Planning. In the 1960s, he worked to prevent the legalization of abortion in New York State. In 1974, the year following the Roe v. Wade decision, Monsignor helped to organize the first National March for Life in Washington, D.C. In 1978, he took part in the first 100-mile Walk for Life through the desert in Death Valley, California. Monsignor Rayleigh battled skin cancer, which could have been the result of countless hours under the sun doing sidewalk counseling outside abortion clinics, and a part of his nose had to be removed in his later years. Following the funeral on December 9th at Immaculate Conception Center in Douglaston, Monsignor Rayleigh was buried at St. John's Cemetery in Middle Village, Queens, New York. The bishops of the Greek Orthodox Church have called for peaceful and constructive coexistence between Christians and Muslims in Syria. They emphasized that the eradication of Orthodox Christianity from Syria would be a sacrilegious loss in the eyes of history.
Following the ousting of Bashar al-Assad's regime by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, Greece's Orthodox bishops have called for the peaceful and constructive coexistence of Christians and Muslims in Syria. In a statement issued after the Church of Greece's Synod in Athens, the bishops expressed concern for its flock and the other Christians in the country. They said that erasing Orthodox Christianity from Syria would be sacrilegious in the eyes of history. The statement appealed to the Greek government and the international community to take urgent initiatives to ensure peace in the region, protect the civilian population, prevent a humanitarian tragedy, and ensure the presence of the ancient Orthodox Patriarchate of Antioch and the Christians in the region. Greece's Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis has pledged his support to Patriarch John X of Antioch in Syria in a telephonic conversation held on December 9. A statement released by the Greek government read, "Special provisions should be made for the protection of all known combatants, including religious minorities as well as that of religious monuments and Syria's rich cultural heritage." The Greek Orthodox Church of Antioch is the largest Christian community in Syria.
Today's Christmas story comes from the banks of the Thames. The streets of London are adorned with dazzling light displays to mark the 2024 Christmas season. Both Londoners and tourists are in awe with the decorations as they eagerly await the arrival of the Christ child. That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.